you seen like a decrease in deer on your cameras here recently?
A little bit. A lot of it's the heat.
Mhm.
Michigan currently right now is going through a huge drought, um, where it's drier and dry up here. I mean, if you get any camera footage, it's either middle of the night or right when it starts cooling down, you finally get that movement. But so far, it's slowed down quite a bit.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. Like there's not been a whole lot of activity and some of the hotter spots that we have is just not a lot of activity going on. So I started to get a little bit nervous and I think if anybody knows anything about recent, what's going on in current events in Ohio or this area in general, because of that drought you mentioned, is EHD is like running rampant in certain parts of our states. Some may be a little worse than others. And then you just can't help yourself to think, oh my, are my deer
Yeah.
affected now?
Yeah.
Am I going to go out there and they're going to find a bunch of dead deer? Well, I'll be honest. I'll tell myself, I did think that when I first heard that come through, I'm like, man, I'm not getting a lot of like photos.
No,
So I went out to the farm and walked around. I had a couple things to do anyways, but I walked around and, knock on wood that there was no signs of like dead deer or
oh
anything out
yeah.
there. So
No, that's always a good thing. No, EHD has been a problem up here, so and it's all due to the moisture and everything.
yeah.
Yeah, it's that's been taking a pretty heavy effect, and then too, like we were talking too, with the CWD down your way is really starting to take a stranglehold on your guys' season in Ohio, right?
Yeah, it is. So they've narrowed it down to a few counties up in the northwest part of the state is where they're really focused. And I guess here it was a pinned up deer somewhere in the northern part of my county here, but that was years ago that they originally found it there with that. But there is a couple disease surveillance areas, like I said, up towards the northwest that they're really focusing on.
Mhm.
So I will say this, just to add to that. So, but I do know that the ODNR is like on top of it, like, or when I say on top of it, they are very, very, very adamant about coming and testing deer that showing any signs of sickness because of
That's
CWD
good.
or EHD. So the example I have is a buddy of mine sent me a photo of a deer that he had on his trail camera that looked like really sick, like really super thin. It would have been a nice, but it was a nice 2, maybe 3 year old buck. Like that what you could tell, but it was just emaciated. That's a big word for a country boy like myself. He was really thin.
Yeah, he's really thin. Yeah.
Really thin, right?
Yeah.
Like sickly thin. And, with a trail cam photo, there's only so much details that you can get, right? And he's like, what do you think of this deer? I'm like, honestly, he looks really thin. Outside of that, I really don't know. Like, cause the trail cam photo, that's all you got. Well, about a day later, he starts sending me videos of this deer sitting out in like a very small clover plot he has right behind his house. This deer's just staying there. It's been in one spot before it was all said and done for an hour. Like, it was there, not moving, barely moving. If it bent down and maybe grabbed a couple blades of whatever, or a couple, leaflets of clover, chewed on it, but just stood there, didn't really do much. Right.
Mhm.
So I'm like, well, I got a couple contacts in ODNR. Let me forward this on to them and see what they say. And believe it or not, they are really adamant about that deer being euthanized, and they wanted to test it. So long story short, that's what happened, and they sent somebody down to his farm or his house to collect the sample. So they're, but I don't know how long it's going to take to get the results, but we're going to hopefully hear pretty soon. So ODNR is trying to be on top of it the best they can because I think they're getting a little bit of heat right now because of EHD and I understand the emotional side of that because that's something that's right in your face like right now. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully they can get ahead of it before it gets worse. So that's all you can hope for. So
well, you're kind of at nature's mercy, like
yeah. Oh yeah.
it's a drought. Like there's, what do you do? I mean, you can go out there and do a rain dance if you want and let me know if it works for you, but um, it just, it's bad.